Hi guys, in this video we're going to talk about the cameras. Now, a lot of you are asking me questions like which camera should I buy in India? Well, this is a festival time, so there are two cameras which is in my mind which I believe you can buy it. So this is a classification of DX camera, which is nothing but crop sensor camera. So when you have a budget of around 60 to 80,000, I think you can go for any of these cameras. Two cameras, which is the best in the models. So that's why I put it over here. So we have one from Nikon, another one from Canon. So you can buy any of these camera according to requirements. So I'm here to compare both of these cameras side by side with the price, the value of the product, like the screen, the size of it, the heaviness of it. So just going to compare in every perspective, which is probably something very important for me, which I would see this before I go ahead and buy it. So the first camera model on the left side is going to be Nikon D7200. Well, D7200 is like a successor of D7100, and D700 is a successor of D7000. So these are like very famous cameras in terms of DX flavor of it. This is the last purchase when you are going for a DX camera in terms of the series of Ds, 5000, 3000 and 7000. So let's go in this, and on the other hand we have Canon EOS 80D. This is one of the good cameras which has recently been released, and this is always a competitor for Nikon 7200. The first factor in this comparison is going to be the price. The price is the major factor over here. As you can see, the price of D7200 varies around 35 to 67. I'm sorry, it is 65 to 67, and the price of this one is 72 to 76. So the first factor before you determine to buy any camera is a price, and we need to make sure that both of these camera come to that level of your understanding that is this the money it's really worth of, or probably I'll go for Canon because it's expensive, so it might have some real good advantages. Now we're going to list out all the pros and cons by comparing both of them side by side. Firstly, the lead goes to Canon because Canon has a touch screen and Nikon doesn't have a touch screen. So Canon has, yes. So a touch screen interface was very useful when you are shooting it when you're using live view mode. Live view mode is nothing but when you see the output digitally converted into your image sensor and directly transferred to your image processor and then to your live view, or the LCD screen which you're gonna have there. And so this is basically the touch screen is going to be very useful when you are doing such things, and when you are selecting the configuration by touching the screen rather than using the physical buttons to go about it. But again, there is always a disadvantage of using a touch screen, wherein which if there is water on that screen, it's going to automatically select the portion where the water is on. So that could be one of the disadvantages. Now we all use touch phones, so we are quite familiar with touch screen interfaces. So I think it's a plus towards Canon. Well, moving on to the next one is the resolution. The resolution which is supported by both of these are 1080 by default at the rate of 60 FPS. So both are supporting these two resolution, so I really don't think that any comparison is required at that point of view. The next one is the weight. How heavy is this camera? Well, Nikon weight lesser of 675 and Canon weights about 730. So you can see that Nikon is a bit more lighter when you compare with Canon camera. This is just a body, it is not attached with any lenses. Now let's go to the thinness of the camera. So this is like how thin is the camera. So here again the advantage goes to Nikon, where it is 77 mm, and in terms of Canon it's 79 mm. So you can also convert it into centimeters, like 7.7 centimeters and 7.9 centimeters. So the lenses which is available for Nikon is about 230 of them when you compare it with Canon of 220. So this is something which is very common, and it's going to be like for every comparison we're just going to do this, because Nikon has a variety of lenses available from Nikon itself, about 230 of them, and Canon has just 220. So this is something which is common for any camera, and it has nothing to do with this comparison. The next one is focus point. Focus point is nothing but the number of points you're going to see while you're focusing on a target. Now this can vary from you know, the good cameras has like 51, which is Nikon has 51 for this one, and when you compare it with the Canon, it's gonna have about 45, just 45 numbers. And in terms of the focus point, it's a clear winner is Nikon. And focus motor in the sense, like some of the cheap lenses doesn't come with the focus motor. So in that terms, your camera has to have a manual focus motor inside the camera, which does the autofocusing. Now if you want to learn more about focus motors and which camera has it and why we use it and why do lens doesn't have a focus motor, you can attend my trainings. The link to my training is on the description, so you can have a look at it. So yes, Nikon has a focus motor in its camera, and it's been followed up from 7000 onwards, and Canon doesn't have one. And for me, it's a real go-to, because when I'm buying this expensive camera and it doesn't have a focus motor in them, it's gonna be a turn off for me, because most of the lenses which I buy is all old lenses or cheap lenses. They don't have a focus motor, so you end up manually focusing it. So focus motor is mandatory when you're spending that much amount of money. So I would this is a total advantage for me. And then Viewfinder is much bigger in terms of Nikon, which is 0.61, and there it is like 0.59. It's not much of a difference. You can't even notice anything when you look through the Viewfinder, but then it's just for a comparison, right? Now here is actually a turning point. Well, for me, battery is a huge thing, because I just want to make sure that I have enough juice for every single battery, the full charged battery, to go to the last moment. So Nikon can capture up to 1110, so it's like 1110 clicks. When you compare with the Canon of 960, just 960 clicks. So this is like a huge difference, almost 50 clicks extra you get here. Oh no, it's like 150 clicks extra you're gonna get in terms of the battery life. So here the SD card slot, there are two SD card slots in Nikon and one. This is again a very crucial point for me, because I think that SD cards are basically to store the data which is being processed by the image processor or the image sensor. So when I have this SD card slot, a two SD card slot, I can do mirroring of image. So one just keeps a backup, one memory card keeps a backup of the other, or I can store two type of data, like a raw image on one card and JPEGs on the other. Like that I can save it, or else like I can even use it as a backup. So once the first card gets filled up, I can go to the next card. Much easier, right? So to know more about this, you can approach me for a training, which is on the description. So again, this is a huge thing, and when I'm gonna give that much amount of money, I would suggest two card slots being there, instead of me just removing and replacing a card in there. Okay, the next thing to compare is the this actual screen size, the LCD screen size, which is going to be 8.1 in terms of 7.6. So now we can see that now the screen size is much bigger in Nikon when you compare with Canon. Again, here is your clear winner here. I mean, if you're looking for well, a touch screen which does the you want to spend 72 to 76,000, then you can go for a Canon EOS 80D. But when you want to have all these features except the touch screen, because I feel like touch screen is like it's not a necessity, it's just something which it's kind of a fancy thing, but then it's not a necessity. I never use live view after all until I use video. Only for the videos I use live view, but then I don't touch any of it. But other things looks pretty solid to me when you compare it with the Canon side by side. So I would really prefer to go for Canon, because it has like really it's not really expensive like Canon. So I think it would be a best thing for me to go for Nikon 7200. So that's all I have for you today, and I hope this video proves something about either of these cameras. If I'm wrong anywhere, if I missed some of these things, you can comment it out, or you can just message me about it. And if you need a training on photography, yes, you can contact me as well. My details are on the description, so you can get in touch with me. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.